I lived in a small town, dreaming of a remote career, but English was a huge problem. I understood some words, but speaking felt impossible. Every job description required it. I felt trapped, watching my dreams fade. Frustration grew. How could I change my life? The language barrier seemed too high, a wall between me and my future. The internet was full of opportunities, but every exciting role had the same requirement: fluent English. I'd open job boards, my heart racing with hope, only for it to sink when I saw those words. It wasn't just about speaking, it was about understanding complex instructions, participating in virtual meetings, and writing professional emails. I felt like I was watching a movie of my life, but I couldn't join the cast because I didn't speak the language. I tried traditional methods before: textbooks, grammar exercises, even a local class, but nothing stuck. I'd get overwhelmed by rules, embarrassed by my mistakes, and quickly give up. The fear of sounding foolish was a heavy chain. I believed I wasn't good at languages, a label I carried for years. This belief became my biggest obstacle, more than the language itself. One day, I saw a video about simple, daily practice. Not hours, just 15 minutes. Listen and repeat, it said, every single day. It sounded too easy, but I was desperate. I decided to try. I found a level 1 podcast for learners. Each morning, before work, I listened and repeated sentences. My voice felt strange, my pronunciation was bad, but I kept going, just 15 minutes. The video wasn't about grammar or complex rules. It was about consistency and immersion. Find content you enjoy, it suggested, and just listen. Then try to mimic. I started with simple stories, children's books read aloud, anything that felt manageable. The first few days were awkward. My tongue felt heavy, my pronunciation clumsy. I often felt silly, talking to myself in a language I barely knew. But the video's advice was clear: don't aim for perfection, aim for presence. So I focused on showing up every day. I'd put on my headphones, close my eyes, and just absorb the sounds. Sometimes I'd repeat a single phrase 10 times until it felt a little less foreign. It was a tiny act of rebellion against my old belief that I couldn't learn. Each 15-minute session was a small victory. Slowly, something changed. After a month, I understood more words. After 2 months, I could repeat longer sentences. My confidence grew daily. I started to enjoy the process. It wasn't perfect, but it was clear progress. I even tried writing short emails in English. The language wall wasn't so high anymore. I was building a path brick by brick with every 15-minute session. The progress wasn't linear. Some days, I felt like I understood everything. Other days, it was a blur of sounds. There were moments of doubt when I questioned if this simple method was truly working. But then, I'd notice a new word in a song or understand a phrase in a movie without subtitles. These small breakthroughs were like sparks, reigniting my motivation and proving that the effort was not in vain. I expanded my practice. I started watching short English videos on YouTube, first with subtitles, then without. I even found online communities where beginners shared their struggles and tips. It was comforting to know I wasn't alone. I began to see English not as a daunting academic subject, but as a living, breathing tool for connection and information. My fear slowly transformed into curiosity. My vocabulary grew, not from memorizing lists, but from context. I learned words related to technology, project management, and remote work, the very fields I wanted to enter. I started to think in English for short periods, mentally narrating my day. This internal practice was crucial. It built a bridge between my native language and English, making the transition smoother when I had to speak. After about 6 months, I felt a significant shift. I could follow entire conversations, even if I couldn't contribute perfectly. I started participating in simple online chats, asking questions, and sharing basic opinions. The fear of making mistakes was still there, but it was overshadowed by the desire to communicate. Each interaction, no matter how small, was a step forward, building my confidence brick by brick. I even started recording myself speaking. It was painful to listen to at first, hearing all my errors, but it was also incredibly helpful. I could identify pronunciation issues and track my improvement over time. This self-assessment became a powerful tool. It showed me concrete evidence of my progress, reinforcing the idea that consistent effort truly pays off. My journey was becoming tangible. The remote job market was competitive, but I felt ready. I updated my resume, carefully translating my skills and experience into clear English. I spent hours researching companies and practicing common interview questions. I knew my English wasn't perfect, but I also knew I could communicate effectively. This newfound self-assurance was a game changer. I was no longer hiding from opportunities. When the interview invitation arrived, I felt a mix of nerves and excitement. It was for a tech support role, fully remote, with a global team. This was it. I prepared diligently, focusing on common technical terms and practicing my answers aloud. I even did mock interviews with a friend who spoke English well, getting feedback on my clarity and confidence. I was ready to face the challenge. The interview itself was challenging, but I managed. I listened carefully to each question, took a moment to formulate my thoughts, and spoke as clearly as I could. There were a few stumbles, a few moments where I searched for the right word, but I didn't freeze. I kept going, demonstrating my problem-solving skills and my eagerness to learn. I showed them my potential, not just my current fluency. Then, a remote job opening appeared requiring English. My heart pounded, but this time it was excitement, not fear. I applied. The interview was in English. I spoke clearly, confidently, sharing my ideas. A week later, I received an email. "You got the job." My dream came true. My small daily habit had opened up a world of possibilities. English truly changed my life. A week later, the email arrived. "Congratulations. We're thrilled to offer you the position." I reread it 3 times, tears welling up. It wasn't just a job offer, it was validation. It was proof that my small, consistent effort had paid off in the biggest way possible. My dream of a remote career, once a distant fantasy, was now my reality. English had truly unlocked my future. Now I work from home, collaborating with colleagues from different countries. English is my daily tool, and I continue to learn and improve. The fear is gone, replaced by a quiet confidence. My journey taught me that big goals are achieved through small, consistent steps. It's not about being perfect, but about being persistent. Every 15 minutes truly adds up. If you're struggling with English or any big goal, remember my story. Don't wait for perfection. Start small. Start now. Find a method that resonates with you and commit to it daily. Even 15 minutes can change your life. It's not just about learning a language. It's about transforming your mindset and opening doors you never thought possible. Your dream career is waiting. This journey wasn't just about English. It was about overcoming self-doubt and embracing a growth mindset. The language was the key, but the transformation was internal. I learned that consistency beats intensity, and that every small effort, no matter how insignificant it seems, contributes to a larger success. My remote career is a testament to the power of daily focused practice.